So much, you too.
In an effort to save the payroll tax cut now, Senate Democrats are talking about dropping their demand for a new millionaire's tax to pay for it. This new potential compromise comes while Congress is facing that midnight Friday deadline to prevent the government shutdown. I'm joined now by USA Today Washington Bureau Chief Susan Page and by roll call reporter John Stanton. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Chris.
So, Susan, late last night, the House unveiled a massive trillion-dollar spending package to keep the government operating, but Democrats in the White House don't like it. Why not?
Well, they say that there are some provisions in there that go, some what we call riders that have provisions on the environment and some other issues that the White House doesn't like. But I've got to say the body language this morning is different than last night. Senator McConnell has just said that he's optimistic and confident that both the payroll tax extension and the spending bill are going to get done in the next couple days. Senator Reid, the Democratic leader, also sounds kind of optimistic. I think that we have the makings of a deal, although we don't know all the details yet.
All right. Well, obviously, John is in Washington all the time. He staked out Mitch McConnell's office last night. I know you also tweeted Harry Reid was clearly not happy as he left. What's the fallout for Democrats, do you think, if they cave on the millionaire's tax?
I think if they cave, obviously their base is going to be very upset with that. They see this as a winning issue. And it also sort of plays into the problem that they've had all year long. They seem to start to get a little bit of momentum this week, and then they start to back off. All of a sudden they get cold feet, and they find themselves in the losing end, once again, with Republicans being able to sort of pull out a hat trick at the very last second.
Is there another way they could play this?
I think if they had not connected the two bills, this with the payroll tax cut, they would have been a little safer. They could have gone after Republicans on the payroll tax cut. They had some momentum there. If they'd allowed the appropriations bill to go forward so that there wasn't this government shutdown situation looming over all of this, they could have done better. But at this point, it's tough to see how they come out of this thing with a big political win.
Susan, did they overplay their hand?
Well, and they overplayed their hand, perhaps, and also Republicans, I think, have backed away from a trap. For a while last night, it looked like 1995 all over again. Then you had a Democratic president, a showdown with Congress, led, by the way, by Newt Gingrich, that led to a government shutdown over the Christmas holidays, and that was the beginning of the Clinton comeback. So Congress, I think, the Republicans in Congress succeeded maybe in learning that lesson, striking a deal that is there to be gotten so that they can do their business and get out of town. I think Republicans in Congress would hope not to drive down their approval ratings any further. It's now at 8% in one poll, 13% in another. Hard to imagine it could get lower, but a government shutdown just might have done that.
Yeah, which is why John Boehner yesterday said he's still committed to a grand bargain to slash the deficit. But, John, you were writing that there's growing unhappiness among Republicans for this his push to sort of cut a deal with President Obama.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of his members look at this as a losing strategy. They do not want to see a large deal done. They feel like every time they've done that, they've started to get distracted from the core stuff that Republicans want to do. And they feel like, for instance, with the defense sequester that comes in play, where they're going to have big cuts at the Defense Department, they would rather be dealing with that than trying to find this huge deal that they don't think they're going to get, particularly now that we're in full-on political season with the White House in the election.
Susan, what's the sense you get in Washington? When we looked at the new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, people are as disgusted with Congress as they've ever been, ever. Is the feeling in the halls there sort of like, well, let's roll the dice because it really can't get much worse? We're already in single digits, or is there a nervousness about it?
Well, I think there is some nervousness on both sides, but especially with Republicans about the feeling that Congress can't get anything done, that it's just locked into partisan gridlock. And, of course, everybody is very focused also on the presidential race. And this kind of sets the stage for President Obama, who we know is going to be facing a tough race next year given the state of the U.S. economy. He needs to either show big results with Congress or show that he can stand up to the Republicans who control the House and are able to block action in the Senate. And I'm not sure that the actions here at the end of the year do either thing for President Obama.
Susan Page, John Stanton, it's great to talk to both of you. Thanks so much. To be continued.
Thank you.
The U.S.